So, big news today. We are pausing the Dividend Guy podcast. Fellow investors, bonjour. This is Mike Leroux, founder of Dividend Stocks Rocks and passionate investor. You're listening to the Dividend Guy blog podcast, where I and my co-host Véronique will help you invest with more conviction so you can enjoy your retirement. Investors, bonjour. Mike Leroux here. You're listening to the Dividend Guy podcast. I am with my co-host Vero, and today we have a different kind of episode. It was not an easy decision to make, but we didn't want to just ghost you out. So here we are. We are today. Vero, what's going on?
Well, like you just mentioned in the hook, today is our last episode of the Dividend Guy blog podcast, at least for now. But yeah, that's we could say it's the end of this podcast today. And I've been by your side, Mike, for more than 6 years. So thank you deeply to the listeners who were with us all this time. It really was a privilege to receive your comments and kind words. I have like some people uh, commenting on our videos or on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, saying that we were doing a great job. So thank you. You have all helped me gain some confidence in my ability to share the concepts of dividend growth investing, because let's remember, I knew nothing about it not so long ago, right?
Yeah, and I was surprised and I was impressed because the podcast is 7 seasons, 270 episodes, 850,000 downloads. And the most, I was looking at the stats, and the most downloaded episode was "Why should you be a dividend growth investor and nothing else?" So at least
Right.
I thought, well, we did the right job throughout those years. Of course, a lot of like the top stocks and top ideas were part of the most downloaded, but the biggest one was this one about the investment strategy, why it gives conviction to so many dividend investors. So I was happy to see that our message at least went beyond the podcast and was shared by
Mhm.
many of you listeners.
So, Mike, let's start with why. Why are we doing this?
Yeah, seriously, huh? And that's the whole purpose of doing this episode is, yes, we're putting the podcast on pause, and it's not like a pause of like a few weeks or a few months. It's literally like we're gonna put that on the shelf, and maybe we're gonna get back to it, maybe not. Who knows? But as an entrepreneur, one of the biggest question that whenever I like listen to podcasts or I read books or anything that you're trying to improve yourself, the biggest question is always, what do you say no to?
Mhm.
And the thing is, you have so many things to do. You want to cover everything. You want to be everywhere, and it's fun. Like I'm a I'm a beast of passion, so I'm always like going from one project to another, and I try to cover everything all the time. But let's be honest, it's just not possible. And eventually, I realized that the podcast was taking a big chunk of my time, a big chunk of yours, and also
Mhm.
we have like an editor and so on. So a lot of people were working on the show, and unfortunately, we have to look at like, is it giving that much value? Especially that my main focus is always about our dividend stocks rock and retirement loop members, not
Right.
necessarily the free content. It's a lot of fun and it's great to do, but if I have to take a big decision between should I continue to do free stuff or give more value to members, well, obviously I'm going to choose my members because those are
Right.
like the most loyal people. We have a connection. We I read all my emails and I respond to them still personally to this date. So I have this deep connection. And the reason why we dragged this decision, actually, because we've been talking about it for a while, was
Mhm.
that I did not want to let anybody down. And I needed to find ways to actually come back with something else, even though I want to stop the podcast. But yeah, the big reason why we're stopping it right now is to allow us to have more time and energy to focus on other projects.
So, what can listeners or DSR members or retirement loop, as we call them, loopers, can expect to get from this move, Mike?
Definitely more focus on you guys that you are either DSR or loopers. So big focus on DSR members. I started a test actually last week. I sent a private video about Go Easy, discussing
Mm-hmm.
what happened, but not just what happened, but how can we avoid this type of situation and what can be done moving forward. So the overall video was more about what can you do now instead of like what happened, because that has been covered extensively. And I
Right.
was shocked. I received like more than 50 emails of thank yous, and it was only sent to about like 200 members. So one out of four people just took the time to say, hey, you know what, I watched the video, it helped me a great deal. And then I thought, well, I'm going to do more of those.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that we're going to do more at DSR are workshops. We did our first one not too long ago in February. It was a more than a 2 hour workshop on how to manage your portfolio. And that was so well received, so many great questions, and it
Mm-hmm.
was really action based. So, on top of like just producing content, we want to give like actionable tools and help people in concrete way, not just talking about theory, but talking about like how can you use that into your portfolio, make like real moves, real investment decisions. And we're going to do more of that as well. Actually, we're going to run a survey in with our DSR members to know which kind of workshop we're gonna do. So definitely
Mm-hmm.
the buy and the sell struggle is going to come out. I'm pretty sure of it, but we're going to have like a lot more to that coming up. Um, Introducing AI into DSR has been a big project of mine since the beginning of the year. It's taking a lot of my time as well. So I want to make sure that I give the right tool to my members, and of course I need to focus a little bit more on that. And on the good news though, the Moose and the Loose, which is my other podcast, it's a 10-minute, so different format, 10 minutes per day from Monday to Friday. That's still active, that is not going to stop. So definitely not in an interview style, it's really like just focus on specific topics. So if you
Mm-hmm.
search for the Moose on the Loose, you're going to find it. And I'm also thinking of doing some live as well on this one. So you can find it on the YouTube channel. You can also find it in the form of a podcast, either on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. So it's pretty much everywhere. But I thought maybe I could do kind of like the Moves on the Loose Monday morning live, doing like
Mm-hmm.
half an hour or something like that. So it's still
Right.
in the boxes at this point, not like the concept is like a bit blurry at this point. But having more time, having more energy will give me those kind of opportunities as well.
And if you'd like to continue receive our content and get invited to our special events like webinars, workshops, maybe at one point, make sure to subscribe to our free weekly newsletter at thedividendguyblog.com/newsletter. We send like pretty much our best of through this weekly emails. Mike, did you have anything else to add?
Actually, just one more thing about the newsletter. We're gonna do some changes on that, and
Mhm.
don't worry. I mean, it doesn't mean that because you're not going to listen to Vero anymore that she's gonna be gone. She's still part of my team, and we do have a lot of new things that are coming up for the newsletter as well. And Vero is gonna be a big part of it. So you're still going to have that feeling of connecting with us through the newsletter moving forward.
And you can also always write to us, right? Mike is reading everything, and if you want to talk to me, just mention my name, and he's gonna forward it to me for
Yeah.
free. So thank you so much, Mike, for all the fun. I really enjoyed doing this episodes with you, and I sure learned a lot. Listeners, again, we'll still be with you just in a different way. So make sure to enter your name and email at thedividendguyblog.com/newsletter or watch Moose on the Loose on podcast or YouTube. And make sure to follow us still to get our best content.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vero, for hosting this show for the past 6, 7 years. It's always such a fun moment that I'm gonna miss for sure. So the good thing is we're still gonna talk anyways every week together, but
That's
it's
for
not gonna be
sure.
recorded. So so
And
less
we're not
dogs
gonna
barking in the
share.
background.
Yeah, we're not gonna share those meetings because first they're in French, and second, we go from basically A to Z, right?
Definitely. All right, so we're gonna do
All
this
right.
one more time. So until next time,
Stay
stay
invested.
invested.